Morning in Toronto. It's a gray, cool start outside, a tight political calendar on the way, and a Toronto team slide that's getting harder to ignore. And later in the brief, Canada and the U.S. are set for a World Baseball Classic quarterfinal, and it's a matchup with a bit of extra edge. Toronto's weather first. Expect a mostly cloudy day around 2 degrees with no rain or snow expected. In the city, Toronto police are warning about a fake auto insurance scam. Investigators say people posing as brokers sold policies at low rates, then provided fake pink slips with policy numbers that appeared to be from well-known insurers, and many victims only found out after a crash or a traffic stop. The practical takeaway is simple. Buy through licensed brokers or established companies, verify the policy number using the insurer's official phone number, and be cautious about paying upfront by cash or e-transfer. And a quick sports check-in before we widen out. The Maple Leafs slide continued in Montreal, a 3-1 loss to the Canadiens, and that makes 8 straight defeats. Toronto got a solid goaltending night. Joseph Woll stopped 30, but couldn't turn it into points. William Nylander had the Leafs' only goal. Montreal sealed it late, with an empty netter. Several reports also note the Leafs are now well outside the playoff picture after 9 straight postseason appearances. Okay, turning now to the part of today's brief that will likely shape Toronto's next few political weeks. Prime Minister Mark Carney has called 3 federal by-elections for April 13, and 2 of them are in Toronto, University Rosedale and Scarborough Southwest, with a third in Terrebonne, Quebec. Here's the key point. The results could shift the Liberals into a 1-seat majority, but the path to that runs through 2 Toronto races that are widely considered safe, and 1 Quebec race that isn't. In University Rosedale, a vacancy opened after Chrystia Freeland resigned to take a voluntary advisory role with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Liberals are running family physician Dr. Danielle Martin. The NDP has nominated Serena Purdy, who also ran there in 2025. Conservatives have named Dawn Hodgson. In Scarborough Southwest, the seat opened when Bill Blair was appointed Canada's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom. The Liberals are running Doli Begum, formerly the Ontario NDP deputy leader, after she defected to the federal Liberals. The NDP is running Fatima Shaban. Conservatives haven't announced a candidate yet. Why this matters locally? For Toronto, these campaigns can quickly become a proxy fight over federal priorities that land at street level: affordability, healthcare capacity, and how Ottawa responds to economic disruptions like U.S. tariffs. Now, the tight one is Terrebonne. The Supreme Court ordered that by-election after annulling the April 2025 result, a 1-vote Liberal win, due to a misprint on mail-in ballot envelopes. That's part legal correction, part political reset, and it's also where campaign logistics matter. Scheduling all 3 by-elections on the same day can stretch opposition resources, and the Bloc Québécois is expected to be most focused there. The risk here is less about who wins Toronto and more about how close Terrebonne is and what it signals about momentum and seat math heading into the next stretch of Parliament. And now, circling back to what I mentioned at the top, baseball and a Canada-US game with real stakes. Canada has reached the World Baseball Classic quarterfinals for the first time after a 7-2 win over Cuba. The separation came in the 6th inning when Bo Naylor drove in a run with a double, and Otto Lopez followed with a 2-run single. Abraham Toro added a solo home run earlier, and Canada kept adding insurance late. At the same time, a separate result locked in the bracket. Italy beat Mexico 9-1, a win that ensured Team USA advanced and set up a USC-Canada quarterfinal on Friday. One detail that explains why that Italy result mattered. In some pool tie scenarios, advancement can come down to runs allowed per out recorded, so big margins can change who survives, even without head-to-head results. Italy, Mexico also produced a tournament first. Vinny Pasquantino hit 3 home runs, the first 3-homer game in WBC history, with Aaron Nola throwing 5 shutout innings for Italy. So the immediate watch is simple. Canada versus the US on Friday, with Canada carrying both history, first time in the knockouts, and a real opportunity to prove it's not just a 1-game step forward. Final look ahead. In Toronto politics, keep an eye on candidate announcements and early campaign messaging in Scarborough Southwest, and on how national parties allocate time and money between Toronto and the much tighter Terrebonne race. In sports, watch whether the Leafs can interrupt this skid quickly, because the standings math gets unforgiving fast. And in baseball, the quarterfinal matchup Friday is the next clear timestamp. That's your daily news bite for Thursday, March 12th.